RC time. Haven't got the L39 on the bench at the moment. The new P47 that I spoke about has turned up, so I just thought I'd show you it and a few bits that I've got to do on it. This is from Seagull. Now you can buy this in ready to fly from Seagull. This one was bought from their master kit range, so it's exactly the same as the ready to fly one, except you build it yourself. And this was built by a very good friend of mine, and it's quite a nice standard as well. Now he's covered it in the same as what I would have personally done, which is he's glassed it. So if you'd have bought one ready to fly from Seagull, it would have been covered in, I think it's a Olay covering, which would have been pre-coloured and printed covering. So the colouring and all the markings are on the covering. But like I say, this one has been fiberglassed and painted. Quite a nice standard, nice airplane. Now I've had one of these before, which was from their almost ready to fly range, and flew, and that was a very good airplane. So I'm hoping that this is going to be as well. I know that he has flown this a couple of times, so he just wanted some space so he could build some more airplanes basically, and I wanted one of these, so I'm planning on building Brian Taylor 70-inch Hurricane next. So I hadn't got it planned on doing a P45 for a little while, so I thought I'd have this off him, so I got something to fly, or something extra to fly this summer. But what I've got to do, he had a engine in it. I can't remember what he said it was. I think he had a 4-stroke in there, but anyway, I'm going to convert it to electric because that's what I fly on. I know it'll fly nicely on the electric motor, so that's what I'm going to do. So I thought I'd just show you. Yeah, quite a nice airplane. Plenty of room in the front here. I am going to not use hardly any of the space in the front here. He's kept his engine mounts, so I told him to take them off before he sent it. So he has. We don't need them. I will be fitting this, which is a Pro Drive. It's from the Turnigy range. This has come out of another airplane. I can't remember which one I took this out of now. One I sort of flew and then sold. So it's from, like I say, it's their Pro Drive range. It's a Pro Drive V2. That's a 5060, 380 kV. I had a few of these motors and I like these motors. They'll take a high ampage. This is rated to 90 amps, whereas a lot of them are rated to 60 and 70 amps. So I use a 100 amp speed controller with this, and that'll produce plenty of power. That'll swing a 1610 or even a 1612 prop, and you'll get around about, hopefully on a 6L 5000, hopefully around about a 6-minute flight. That's what I was getting off top of my head from the last one I had. So that's it. I actually found the actual motor box from the last P47 that I had, so that's quite handy. So that shall fit on there quite nicely. That's already pre-drilled for the motor, and then that's going to be a case of bolting this to there, the firewall. That'll be, I'll drill and bolt this through, just for safety really. I know, like I say, this is built by a chap who I know, so I know this firewall is not going to be weak. He'll have gusseted all inside here. I can just take that plate off and just double check, but I know either there that'd be gusseted inside there and here, that will be epoxied and white glued, so it's going to be strong. Because it's from the Seagull kit, the incidents and angles are already built into this firewall, so I've not got to build anything into this. It's already there. It should be about 1.5 degrees of right, turning to the right that way, and there should be probably around 1 degrees of down, I would say, looking at that, that is about what is there. So like I say, on the Seagull ones, it's built into them, so that's quite nice. So that'll be okay. Yeah, the rudder looks okay. See, sometimes you can build in, especially on a high torque airplane where you've got a lot of prop torque, you can even build in a little bit to the vertical stabilizer. So if you need a little bit more left to counter, or right, sorry, to counter the prop throw, you know, that can even be done on the tailplane. And yeah, so but yeah, this one, like I say, I know he's flown it, so it should be fine. So that's how we go. I'll have to do a little bit of alterations inside. Yep, he's taken it out, but he's obviously had a fuel tank in here. We obviously we don't need a fuel tank, so basically I will have to just build that back up to make a battery bay, and to strap the battery on. But yeah, it looks like he's altered how they would normally have it, and cut through and put the fuel tank so it's low down. That just gives the weight low into the airplane, which makes the airplane a little bit more stable. I'd probably keep the battery quite low down as well. So, but we shall see. He's left servos in for me, nothing very good, but there's a couple of high tech, so that'll do. Half decent servos. So it's come with some mechanical retracts, they're already in, and servos are all in the wing. So I ain't got too much to do. Motor, battery tray. Probably have a look at this cowling. Obviously the engine guys, they have to have an exhaust, so I've got a hole in the bottom of the cowling for the exhaust. Well, we've got a couple of little metal studs there, that's for the ignition. Yeah, obviously a little hole there, that's to get a screwdriver through to adjust the engine. So I think when I get time I shall just glass them over and tart them up and touch them up, and just because with electric we just don't need any holes. And I notice he's also got an on-off switch hole here where he's had his switch for the radio gear. Again, don't need that on an electric system, so I'll either find a nice sticker to go over that hole, or I'll fill it and put a piece of and spray it. So the rest of the model don't need spraying or touching. That's all quite nice. Yeah, so there you go. So that's a little project I'll be doing for the next day or two. As far as the L39 go, I said on my last video that the next job was to marry up and do the tile, but I'm going to actually glass the wing next, so that'll be the next video on the L39. You've seen me do a bit of glassing anyway, but I'll just give you, if I get a chance, I'll film when I do the wing, just because there's a bigger area to do. So I'll just show you how I do that. But the reason for that is what I'm finding is trying to marry up the fuselage to the wing and stuff. I'm trying to be careful because the balsa is, you know, it's very nice thin balsa, and it's very easy to get marks on it. You know, I mean, if you put it on a bench and there's a screw on the bench, it will show, it will leave a mark, and it will leave an indentate into the wood. Even holding the wood, if you've got long fingernails, and that will leave a mark on the wood. So yeah, so I'm going to finish the sanding on the wing and give that a coat of glass and that will make the wing a lot harder to work with then, as in not harder as in hard work, but as in it's not going to mark and damage so much while you're moving it around and trying to get everything lined up and measured up. So that will be the next thing on that, and then after that, that'll be then the tile. Once we've got the tile on, we can then finish the sheeting on the fuselage, and we have to remember that we still got to cut out and do the front retract for the nose gear, and that might even be worth doing that before we do the tail, to be honest, because once you get a tail on an airplane they become awkward and wieldy to move around in your workshop and on your bench and that, so we shall see. Alright, okay, I hope you enjoyed this little chat. That's all it is today, just a little chat. I'm certain that you don't need to sit and watch me drill holes. You all know how to drill a hole. These herbs are easy because they come from Seagull. You have your centre hole here. You can see that's all been crisscrossed. That is dead centre. That comes drilled and pre-done like that. Same with these fireboxes. There's the centre hole. It is going to be just a case of lining that up, drilling through and bolting this on. And it's going to be as simple as that. It's not going to be hard at all. So yeah, so I shall get that done and get this motor fitted. I've got to do some soldering on the speed controller. Yeah, and I shall do that for the next day too, and then I shall do another video on some more glass and over with the Easy Coat. Alright, thank you for watching. Hope you're enjoying it still. If you are, hit the subscribe, that always helps a little. If you've got any good ideas for me, leave a comment, and she'll talk to you later. Okay, all right, bye bye for now.